What's going on, guys? Episode number 21. We got Ivan. We got our boy Smitty back on.
What's up?
Gonna be a banger of an episode. Smitty's been grinding on the content recently, starting up Snapchat. What's that been going like for you?
It's all right. I'm just getting started with it. Like I'm trying to figure it out because I'm not too familiar with it, but I've seen like everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, no, I seen that too.
It's like the next biggest thing. It's like everyone's making bags off this Snapchat stuff. The stories and then the spotlight. I think what it is because all these apps are trying to compete with TikTok now. It's interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, like
I know Facebook just started one. Or X.
X, yeah.
X is starting to pay people now, too.
Okay.
That might be the one to hop on to.
yeah, I gotta hop on there.
Yeah.
What is it? You have to get to like 10,000 followers or something to start getting paid
I'm not sure. On
on Snap.
Snap's bad. It's 50K.
Oh,
For
50K.
stories. I think for stories.
What are you at?
It's like 2.
Oh, okay.
But
Getting there.
we'll get there.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you should start blowing that up on TikTok.
Yeah, I probably will. I mean, I
Oh,
can
yeah.
get there, but yeah, it's not bad. It's just easy money.
Yeah.
How do you start monetizing off that, though?
I think
Ads. Ads.
yeah, I don't know exactly how it works, but I think once you hit like your requirements, like followers, I think it's followers and then like a certain amount of views, you just get paid for views.
Yeah.
I think that's all it is.
So I want to talk about like having motivation to do shit and like your reason why. You know, like I have these big goals, you have these big goals. I'm sure you do too, Smitty.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel that people who are scared to step out and try these things,
Yeah.
I feel like it's because they don't have a strong enough reason why.
Mm.
So I was just curious, Smitty, like you ever have a time where you're like, nah, I don't want to post this TikTok today, or like you go in phases of ups and downs where you're like, oh, I need to grind. Like, what's your kind of bigger picture here?
Yeah, for sure. That's actually a good question. So, I mean, this past week, for example, I haven't wanted to do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been just fishing, having a good time, like not really focused on stuff, which is bad. Because obviously, if I don't work, I don't make any money. Like, as crazy as it is, but I guess my bigger picture is not like I don't want to be in a 9 to 5. Like I don't want to sacrifice all my time for a small paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, because if you think about it, like once you get trapped in that loop, it's really hard to get out.
For sure.
Like I have nothing against, I guess, people that go to college and do all that, but that's just not for me. That's not how I'm wired. Like I couldn't do it. And once you get into it, like I said, it's like it's a cycle. It's so hard to get out of that.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
would you say, like, the reason why you keep going, like, I guess the bigger reason that, like, Bryce was talking about is just, like, you don't want to ever step into that 9 to 5 realm.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a position where I'm sacrificing all of my time
Yeah.
for money.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting to me, though, because, like, at least both of you guys, you knew immediately that college wasn't the way you wanted to go. I don't know if it was for you because the wrestling thing, you were kind of like, nah, I didn't get what I wanted. Like, I know you kind of had a goal, like full ride kind of thing. I don't know if that's why you kind of were like, no, or you just knew. And then we'll go with you first, and then curious how you knew that college wasn't going to be for you.
Well, at least for me, I always was like, like, knowing I was going to have to wrestle another 4 years, like, that's obviously taxing. Cutting weight for another 4 years, knowing you're going to do it, that's taxing. But even the school that I wanted to go to, it was up there, and then everything got fixed, and it was only $8,000 a year.
Okay. Clarion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah. But it was only $8,000 a year.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really that bad.
Okay.
Like, realistically, like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So they sent me, like, a thing. I don't know when the deadline was. It was, like, literally, like, 2 weeks before the deadline. And, like, I had to make another decision not to go because, like, I guess everything, like, fixed somehow. And
Okay.
they sent me it, and it was literally $8,000 a year. I was like, well, that's not bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But I kind of made up my mind before that. I was like, you know what? I know there's something bigger out there for me to achieve than going and drinking. And then I've always just thought, like, if all I'm doing is drinking, like, I knew the only reason I was going to college was to drink and wrestle.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it. And, like, I might use the degree, but I probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and that's how most colleges, it's like most colleges, like, most people that get a degree, like, obviously it's a general statement, like, they don't end up using it
Yeah.
in the long haul, you know. So it's like, to me, I really just thought of it as I get to drink and wrestle for 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's how I made my decision not to do it,
Yeah.
because I knew there was something better out there.
Yeah, what about you, Smitty? You kind of...
Yeah, I kind of feel that though. Well, I guess my eyes got opened, like because of the TikTok thing. I
Yeah.
saw that there's other ways you can go about life.
Mhm,
It's not, you don't have to. And I feel like that's the other thing. People think that it's kind of impossible or it's so rare to be able to like not go to college and like do this, do that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Social media especially. Like
Mhm.
I don't think people realize that it's possible. It's just like any other job. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
I think it's way harder, but I mean, I always wanted to go to college and run track,
Yeah.
but it just after TikTok, I just saw it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, see, it's real interesting to me on how people always are like, well, I want to make more money.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I want to start getting into the gym. But they'll just talk about it. Like, have you tried? Have you tried to make more money? Have you tried to change your situation in life? Like, probably not.
Mhm.
And, like, I agree with what you said about the wrestling thing. Like, you knew you were going to go wrestle, party, and then you were going to get a degree on top of it.
Yeah.
And, like, I had to actually go to college to figure that out for myself. And, like, looking back on it, I feel like I was so burnt out from wrestling. Like, that was also the only reason I wanted to go college. Like, that was my goal from, like, a young age. And then it just kind of was like, you know, this isn't actually what I want to do. And it's like, screw it, I'm still going to go to college. My sisters did. And then I went and I was like, you know what, this is not for me at all. And I'm very, like, I feel like a lot of people are kind of like this. I'm curious how you guys go about this. But for me, it's like, whenever I'm not working towards something or I don't have that feeling inside me, like, I got shit done today, I got better today, like, that's when I get into these depressed states. That's when I feel anxiety. That's when I feel like I'm not good enough or I'm never going to reach these goals.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it took me to just tell people, like, no, this is what I'm doing now. And it's still hard for me, like, when people ask, like, oh, are you going to school? Like, it's weird to say no because I feel like it's, like, condescending and, like, they're like, oh, you're not going to school. Like, you're probably not going to make anything of yourself.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any experience with that? Like, when people, because you
As
say
in-
real estate.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody asks you, are you going to school? You say, no, I do real estate. Like,
Yeah.
and you're doing good. So does it feel good? And also on that same page, like, do you ever go into those times where you're like, shit, like, I didn't get enough done today. Like, I'm probably not going to make it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think anyone that has like a relatively like growth mindset, and I feel like Smitty will agree with this. It's like you always know what you should be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like, I don't really care who you are. Everyone that's like, oh, I should be making more money, they think like, you know, they think that thought, but then they also understand like, oh, I have to do these actions to get to the goal I want to.
Okay.
So like, I feel like anyone would sit there and like me, for example, if I like know like I have these certain goals, I have certain outcomes that I want for that day, and I know if I don't do certain things throughout the day that I log,
Mm-hmm.
I won't get to the end goal for that day, and then that will mess up the whole month
Okay.
for me. So it's like I have to stay on top of things, and you know, like that's what I find important. So like, yeah, like if I'm not productive that day, it does kind of suck because
Yeah.
I know like my end goal is gonna take now one more day longer.
Mm-hmm.
Taking one, you know, like I actually took a step back that day, and it was like that to me is like the worst feeling.
Yeah, I agree. And then Smitty, with you, say after this week you're like, damn, I didn't do enough TikTok, like I didn't make enough money. Like, what do you kind of do to deal with that, or are you just gonna dive all in now?
Now basically I got to go in like 10 times harder this
Yeah,
week,
yeah.
'cause I took basically 2 weeks off and not doing anything, so I didn't make any forward progress. I basically went backwards. 'Cause
Yeah.
I went on a trip. I spent tons of money, like,
Okay.
so I basically went backwards. So this week it's all in. I got to be
Yeah.
in there.
At the same time,
Hours.
though, I feel like that's totally how I am. Like, I'll either be all in or all not in, and it sucks. It's not a good thing. Like, I really need to work on finding that like middle balance of always being very productive and like
it's
very
really
little,
important.
very like small, non-productive things. But those, whenever I am not productive, or like when we went to Boston, and like after that, like there was a low after that because I was like, damn, I didn't get anything done, even though it was a great experience, great trip.
Yeah.
But then I dove in 10 times harder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you just need the discipline. You know, to keep. You also like need to like know what you need to do per day. Like, you need to, like, set out things like, oh, I gotta do this today, I gotta do this today, I gotta do this. I have to, like, for me, it's like I have to send this amount of messages out a day. Like, I need to make 500 touches to get a lead. Like, to me, like, that's, like, I need to find a way to do that consistently.
Yeah.
To run everything. So it's like, that's what I have running through my head all the time. So it's like, I'm looking for that 500 number, like, consistent.
Yeah.
I need to hit 500, 500, 500. And, like, for you, like, it's going to be tough if you go all in one time and do, like, these sprints. Like, it's hard to run anything big if it's not predictable.
Yep.
Like me, like, I can start to, like, predict what's going to happen in the next 2 months, 3 months, because nothing is going to change.
Yep.
Someone, like, big family passing, crash my car, anything, like, it might minorly deviate.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to do what I got to do.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I can start to predict what's going to happen in the future, and I can start figuring out, like, where we're going to go and where we're heading to due to me being consistent all the time.
Yep.
So, like, that's something you guys definitely should look at and focus on.
Yeah, and I know, like, I've been trying to, like, set goals that I tell you, and, like, we kind of go in together, and I feel like they're really good.
Yeah.
Like, you set any goals ever, Smitty?
Sometimes, just number-based, I guess.
Yeah.
But and I normally hit them. It's just, like, my problem is that consistency. Like, I'll do super good some nights, and then other nights I won't even be.
Yeah, are you pretty good with dealing with, like, like, say you post a TikTok and it doesn't get as many views, or you go live and it doesn't do as good? Does that bring you down, or
yeah,
are you good with dealing with that?
Honestly, at this point, I'm so used to it. It's like, if I go a week and nothing happens, like, I can kind of deal with it. It's more like when I know it's my fault. Like, if I don't get on or I don't put effort towards, like, making more money, like, that bothers me more, I think.
Yeah. Like, the content aspect, like, it's pretty crazy how people will look at you and they'll be like, oh, that's so easy to do. The podcast, it's so easy to do. The social media stuff. And then it's just like, no, like, you're completely wrong. Like, oh, he was giving it. He didn't earn that. And I was listening to something. It's kind of crazy how people say, like, this overnight success. And sure, there is overnight success. Like Anthony Oliver, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Like, he was grinding. He was doing music for years before that. And then he finally popped off. Matt Rife, who's now making $1 million a month on TikTok. Give or take. Only on TikTok. So, like, he's bringing in so much money. He's been grinding for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Like, he earned all that. I don't think, obviously there are the outliers, the overnight success, the island boys, the things like that. But I feel like luck and those opportunities are given by the dark hours of hard work and the grind. And I just feel like people have such a misconception.
Well, I think all luck is putting yourself in the right place at the right time. And the best possibility of you putting in, you know, yourself in the best place in the right time is to constantly be putting yourself in a position to win.
Yeah.
Like, you can almost force luck to happen if you're always pushing to be in that right place at the right time. And, like, that's usually done through a whole lot of work, a whole lot of grinding, being there. You know, being there at the dark hours, because, you know, if you're always there, at some point luck's gonna hit. You know, it's just a result of hard work.
And I think all of that comes with a lot of hate. So, you know this a lot better than me. I mean, I'm very small on social media still. How are you with dealing with the hate that comes with it?
So, yeah, that's another thing, I guess. It's just, like, you get used to it. Especially, like, school. Being in school while doing this. And my friend Andre, he can relate. I mean, you get so much hate because all these kids are seeing you, like, doing this, doing that, like, making money. That, like...
Yeah, you're battle tested.
Yeah, you
really are.
Get hate all the time. And then on the internet, obviously, you deal with hate.
Yeah.
But if you look at the people that hate, you have to feel bad for
They're
them.
just jealous,
it's whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess, like, the hate in person is something you just got to let go. It's just, everyone's going to be jealous. But, you know, they could do the same thing. They just don't.
Yep.
They don't put their, effort towards it.
Or they're just scared.
Exactly.
I think a lot of the big accomplishments that people want to do, all it comes down to, it's not lack of discipline, lack of motivation. It's just they're scared.
Yeah.
They're not willing to take that step.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. Like, I wanted to, like, post, like, me doing houses, like, a year ago. Like, when I first started. Like, I remember when I was walking through, I had this one warehouse that I was working in. It was like a 15 unit giant deal. It was like a good one.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to post it, and I just literally was too scared, and I was literally doing something really cool, and I was like, I couldn't post it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
I am zapped off this fucking coffee right now. Holy crap, it's hard to sit down.
Dude, I freaking drank it today.
Yeah, we're all zapped off the coffee. We might be tweaking a little bit, but well, I mean, we talked about that with the social media. Like, I feel like you are actually in a good spot, though. I was thinking about this last night, which is crazy. Like, so I was thinking, so you know how I always tell you, like, it'd be easy to set up a podcast if you had a lot of money?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the time it takes you to gather that money, and then it's easy to set up the podcast, if then the podcast, by that time, so say it takes you 10 years to get there, and then by that time the podcast in 3 years is booming, so 13 years.
Mm.
Rather than starting a podcast, no money, and then 13 years later, would you be at more money than you had if you gathered? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I look at it like the Luke Belmar effect, like his story with the bamboo.
Uh-huh.
So like the story about like how bamboo grows is it actually stays underground for 5 years. Like no one actually knows it's even there.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2 weeks, it's 10 feet in the
Yeah.
air. So like to me, like that's how I look at like how I plan on doing it. Like I plan on like getting good at real estate, making a ton of money, like becoming the guy to talk to about my industry and what I do in a very specific way, and having a proof of concept. And then when I go and like share my information and I'm able to provide value out, it's genuine good value instead of like starting from here.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, you can go either route, like, because, there's one thing where it's like, okay, I become the guy and then I put content out, like the Alex Hormozy method. When Alex Hormozy first started making content, he was already the guy.
Yep.
He already started Gym Launch. He was already doing good. He was already a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could go the Iman Gadji route, and he's been logging from day one all the way up.
Oh, yeah, I love going back.
And people get to watch the stories. So
I
it's
love
like,
going back and watching.
So, I mean, you can go any way about it. I think just with what I want to do is, like, I want to put out, like, a crap ton of value out into the world. And I still have to level up first.
Yeah. Smitty, you kind of got your journey started by just TikTok.
Yeah.
And then, like, your story quitting your job, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was crazy. Because I quit. I literally went in. My parents were pissed.
Uh-huh.
And then I just, like, a week later, it just happened.
Yeah.
So it kind of was, I guess, right place, right time. Like,
yeah.
It kind of was luck.
Mm-hmm.
At least falling into it like that.
Yeah.
But then everything after was kind of just consistency.
Yeah.
Like doing it every single night.
Well, the cool thing is like, you had the balls to go and double down on what you saw. Like that, what was it, like $60 or $90 you made on that?
$90 the first time.
Yeah, and then you were like, you know what? Let me try this. And most people would be like, oh, I made it, and then, like they would maybe try it again. And like you were smart enough, and actually had like the bravery to go out and like, all right, I'm doubling down, I'm hitting it hard, I'm gonna make some money.
Yeah.
And look at you now. You know what I mean? So it's sweet.
Yeah, that's super cool that you capitalized on that opportunity.
Crazy.
Yeah, it has to be crazy.
I mean, when you see when you've like $25 in your bank account, and then you make 90 in like 20 minutes, or 40 minutes, whatever it was, like you just like you have so much like you're so hungry, so you just keep going after it. And I think that's the best way to succeed is like making yourself hungry.
Yeah,
you want to be successful so bad.
For
like,
sure.
We were talking about how like we'd rather be successful than like we want it so bad that we'd rather be dead if we're not.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree 100%.
You have to have that mindset because if you don't, you're gonna slack off. You're gonna like, you're not gonna grind as hard as you should. And for this stuff, you have to grind. It's an everyday thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think anytime you're building anything from scratch, it takes a whole lot of work.
Definitely.
And I'm not even like a tenth of where I want to be.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even a fifth of where I want to be, or 5% of what I want to be. So it's like, I feel like I have so much way, and I feel like I've already grinded so much, and I'm still like not even a fraction of.
Oh yeah, like you guys said, like if you're not successful, you don't even want to try, or like you don't even want to be alive anymore, But like we talked about, I feel like it's just being average. You know what I mean? It's just I don't want my life to be that at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like big picture, this comes down to who you have around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're with a group of guys who are all fit, going to the gym, working hard, that don't have a 9 to 5, that are all popping on social media or popping in whatever niche they're in, you're not going to be average. You're not going to go to your 9 to 5. You're not going to work a normal job. You're not going to live a normal lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. I think I actually just enjoy the game. Like to me, like life's like a video game, and I'm just like progressing through it. And like it was cool because it was like I got to meet like this guy at a wedding. He's running like a multi nine or 10 figure business, like a freaking
top G,
big G.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to him, and it was like meeting like the master prestige of a guy in the game, because like he's in it right now. He's running a business. He's running a giant tech company. Like he's doing well. He's talking about. He's like, dude, I freaking love my life. Hop on the PJ, go out, hop here at an island. I get to see my family all the time. I fly back, see my family for a week, come back. Now I'm in Paris. Now I'm in Barbados. Now I'm in the Cayman Islands. And he's like, dude, I freaking love my life. And he's like, now I'm here. You know, drop $5,000 on the wedding. You know.
Yeah.
You know, buy the bride and everyone a hotel for the night. You know, like he's just like he's living the top tier of life. You know.
Yeah.
So I thought that was super cool, and I was like, dude, that's where I want to get to.
For sure.
I'm hyped to see him again. We're going out to get lunch soon.
Okay, that'd be real cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's like talking about the game at like such a high level. He's like talking about how he's getting like public shares, how he created, you know, how he went from like in 8 years from 0 to 100 M. To this year in a couple months he's gonna get that 500 valuation, and he's like, this is how you like print money out of thin air, and he's like teaching me this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm like sitting there with like my jaw on the floor, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. And then I realized, I'm like, this is why I like doing this. Like it's a game, and it's like you get to learn, and you get to progress through the game, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, and I also feel like obviously I chase the money, but money's just the big picture. Like money will equal freedom. Yeah. Money will equal being able to help a lot more people.
Exactly.
Which I feel like that's like what I'm really driven by. And it was Graham actually. So I've been loving Graham's shit. Like I've been going all in. You seen the Iced Coffee Hour podcast or heard of Graham Stephan at all?
I haven't. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Well,
but
if you pull up a picture of Graham Stephan, you'll know who we're talking about. He's been on YouTube forever. You just probably don't know the name of the podcast.
Yeah, you're good.
Or the face. They look him up for a sec.
But basically, he talked about how he believes everybody's here for a reason, and they all have a purpose. They just have to find it. And I really feel like deep down my purpose is like I want to help people.
Yeah.
And thinking about this show, I almost feel like the podcast, like, yeah, I want to interview these giant people, obviously. You seen him before, Smitty? Yeah.
I feel like everyone's seen him somewhere.
I just didn't know the name.
Yeah. I feel like everybody has these big guys on, like, and I have those goals to have these big popular people on. But at the same time, I want to take, like, not average people, but people who you might not know and figure out, like, that guy. Figure out his journey, like, how he became extraordinary, how they got to success. And I feel like that would be super cool, just having these people who might not be popping on social media. Everybody might not know them. And just show that it's so much more possible than you think.
Oh, yeah.
And also, like, let's talk about this. So, in your 20s, I feel like it's so important to develop skills. I feel like the money's going to come later. And, like, for you, Smitty, like, the money might be coming in now, but imagine if you have a million followers on TikTok. Yeah. Like, by the time you're 30. Yeah. Do you all agree with that? Like, money, your 20s is kind of about gaining knowledge and figuring out your path.
Yeah, that's, like, a really important thing. I mean, you need to have the skills. I think you just have to have a growth mindset. You know, where you're learning constantly. Like, even I was watching this one podcast. It was on Fresh and Fit, but there was like Robert Kiyosaki was on that one, and like a couple. And then there was a guy that did macroeconomics, and then Ken McElroy, and they were all sitting and watching, talking to Fresh and Fit, and they're 74-year-olds, like, you know, like they're at not the end of their life, but you know they're pretty much done. But they're still trying to learn. They're still trying to figure out something to learn. You know what I mean? And they're constantly learning. They're constantly reading. And it's just like, that's why they're billionaires. Every last one of them. It's because they never stopped learning. Yeah. They never stopped grinding from 20 to 75 or 80 something. However old Robert Kiyosaki is. So I just think that's important. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Like a growth mindset and just trying to learn as much as you can right now. And, try things. At a young age, like, this is the best time to risk things. Like, take risks. Because you can lose, you can fail, and, like, get back up again. If you're 60 years old and you fail, go broke, like, what are you going to do? Like, now's the time to, take a risk.
No,
and
I agree.
I think everyone's just scared. They want security and a job, or they want that degree that they think is going to give them security. But it's like, for me, I'd rather just go out, take risk after risk, even if I fail. If you fail 100 times but succeed once, like, that's all you need.
Well, you know what those failures are? They're just, if you fail 100 times, you learned 100 times.
Exactly.
So you know 100 times more than whoever's trying it their first time.
Exactly.
But, like, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I don't think it's possible to fail. Like, I truly have it built into myself. I cannot fail. I think that's because it's like, this is kind of how I look at it, which I don't know if this is good, bad, but I'm like, say I fuck off that badly to where I'm 35, I don't have the amount of money. Two things. If you put like $500 a month in a Roth IRA right now, by the time you're 59 and a half, you'll have $2 million. So it's like, I can make $500 a month no matter what. And also, if I fail that bad, I'll drive UPS. They make $140 grand a year, like, whatever. I feel like people are so scared to fail.
Yeah.
It's just like,
well, it's just whatever you consider failure as.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, I will never fail, because to me, failing is like quitting.
Yep.
So like how at least I see it,
I like
what
that.
I do is, like, I'm gonna lose money. I'm gonna mess up. Something's gonna go wrong. A deal's gonna fall through because I didn't say the right thing. I'm gonna mess up.
Yeah.
But that's not failing to me. Like, that's just like something that's bound to happen.
Yep.
Like, obviously nothing goes perfect. If anything, most things go wrong.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
But to me, failing is like if I ever stop playing the game. Like, when you stop playing the game, because, like, you're gonna lose levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
But the second you turn it off and you stop playing, then you failed.
I'm like,
and,
a cat, I
know
got
I'm not
9
gonna
lives
do
in
that.
this bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And I know I'm never gonna stop playing the game.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
So, like, I don't think it's not possible to fail, actually.
That's a good point.
Yeah, thinking about it, it's so crazy how people are just like, it comes down to, like, they don't like where they're at, but they're not self-disciplined enough to take that step.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it's just the mindset today is so bad. Everyone's mindset is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't watch the whole podcast last week, but were you guys talking about comfort and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit with the dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, like being comfortable.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. Everyone, they get too comfortable. And it's like, you got to step out of that comfort zone.
For sure.
Because if you get stuck, like, if I sit down right now and I'm comfortable with where I'm at, I'm not going to go forward. I'm just going to, if anything, it's just going to drag me down.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you cannot be comfortable. And that's why I constantly want more. Like, I feel like, even right now, I feel like I'm not doing good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing enough. And I'm not where I want to be. So, I think that's the mindset you have to have. And the problem is just everyone's got that wrong mindset.
Everyone's too comfortable with where they're at.
And they're trapped in that. They can't get out of that. So.
Also, I feel like there's a fine line, though. Maybe not, because you talked about how if you want to be that 1%, you gotta be a little crazy. You gotta go that extra level, which I agree with.
Take it too far.
Too far. Take it too far.
You gotta take it way too far to get there.
I also feel like there has to be that, like, kind of medium balance to where you're like, okay, I can actually sit back and reflect on what I did. Not for too long. Not for too long and sit there and be like, this is okay.
Yeah.
But, like, I almost feel like there's, like, I feel like I'm never going to stop chasing it, you know?
I think there's seasons, you know? Like,
there's
seasons where you have different focuses. There's times in your life where some things are more important than other things.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes, like, you know, like, even if you have a relationship, that can take its toll, and you have to, you know, take care of that. You know, there's some times where the business is down, you have to put a little extra effort into that. You know, like, so there's times and seasons where you work hard. Obviously, like, to get to that 1% range, you have to take it way too far.
Yeah,
like,
you have to.
Well, that's the only reason you get to the 1%. But I think, like, there should be times where you take it way too far, like doing, like, a monk mode type deal.
Yep.
Like what we're doing at the beginning of the year. Like, I'm going to take it really far. You know, at the beginning of the year, I want to do a monk mode and, like, really hone down, dial in. I just don't like running a monk mode, like, during the holidays.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's so restrictive. Like, you're not stepping out. You're not doing anything. You can't, like, do a whole lot.
Yeah.
So like that's the only reason I want to do it at the beginning of the year. But like then I'm gonna really dial down, really gonna work hard, learn as much as possible, be reading,
Mhm.
and try and level up. And like that only lasts for 3 months.
Yeah.
So like that would be like 3 months where I really push it,
Mhm.
and then after that it'll just be a consistent base.
Yeah.
So I think there's times where you like really have growth periods and growth seasons, and it's that constant rate
Yeah.
that I was telling you about,
Mhm.
to where it's like you're working and it's very predictable.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it.
I feel like right now it's such a crazy time, and it sucks because on social media you see these people posting just degenerate stuff, just content that's not valuable, or it's just like going to Walmart doing stupid shit. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
it's so entertaining though.
Yeah, it is. It is very
So
That
entertaining.
stuff gets pushed way more, like negative stuff, and that stuff gets pushed way more than stuff like this. Like
Oh
this
yeah.
like things that are actually important and like mean something,
Uh-huh.
they just don't push it as much.
Yeah.
And,
It sucks.
yeah, it does suck, but
It puts a bad rep on the social. Well, the social media is bad we have today,
it's
but at
it's
the same
awful.
time, there's so much knowledge out there, and you can learn so much and
Yeah.
do things so much faster than you were able to do before.
Yeah.
So it just sucks that that's what they're pushing on us.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't like it at all.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I don't mind because it gives me a competitive advantage.
For sure.
Like to like once this next generation logs out,
Uh huh.
then we're stuck with the millennials and it's the millennials and then who's gonna beat us from under us.
Yeah.
There's a very small percent of people that are waking up. I think the reason why Tate ever even popped up
Yeah.
was because it was so pushed one side, that liberal agenda,
Mhm.
all that stuff was pushed so hard
Yeah.
that there was literally no masculine figures, so we went all the way left to all the way right. You
Uh-huh,
know what
uh-huh.
I'm saying? So I think it was like an equaling out. So I think people at least are waking up a little bit, and I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of change, but I think at least people are aware of it.
Yeah.
Because like I even know people where it's like, at least they're saying like, oh, I want to do that. Are they gonna do it? No, but at least they're realizing that they're not doing the right thing now.
Mhm,
So it's
mhm.
like that's nice.
See, I almost think it's stupid because on social media it seems like it is so right-sided or so left-sided. There's no like middle ground, or it's okay to think that like yeah, some Republican values are okay, some Democrat values are okay. Nope, you can't think that. You know what I'm saying there?
that is true. It is crazy. It's one side or the other.
One side completely.
But
You know what's really crazy though? It's like I don't think people realize this, but everybody's feed's different, right?
Mhm.
So like
Well,
my
yeah.
feed is right. Like
Uh-huh,
I lean
uh-huh.
right, I see right. So when I'm thinking about these leftists, I'm like, how do they not see this? Like
Yeah,
how are they
yeah.
not seeing this? Like how
That's
how do they
true.
have that viewpoint? But then if you go to their feed, they're looking at it and they're like,
yeah,
how do they not see what I'm thinking? Because like I'm literally seeing this on a daily
Uh-huh,
basis,
uh-huh.
and I didn't realize this until I watched this Candace Owen podcast,
Uh-huh.
and they talked about how she like actually got into being like into politics,
Mhm.
and she was like, well, like all the way through college, like I was pretty left leaning, and during the Trump era, like actually before he got elected,
Mhm.
it was like I actually like watched one of his things and like I saw this one part where it was like a little elevator pitch, and he was like basically saying is like, well, Black America, like you guys have been voting Democrat for this amount of time,
Yeah.
and nothing's changed for you guys. Just take a chance on me. And she was like,
Yeah.
oh, like that's a cool elevator pitch. Like
Was that on the Nelk
that's
Pod? Is
fair.
that who that is? That lady is?
Oh yeah, the black lady.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
she's awesome.
Yeah, she's a G.
Did you watch that pod?
I think yeah.
That was
I've
pretty
seen her
cool.
around. She's cool.
Yeah, she's cool.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
cute too.
I
I think she's got a kid on the way, but
But what can you say?
yeah,
Yeah, she's married, I think.
that is a very yeah.
But let me get back to the point.
Go ahead.
So she was like, "Oh, that's a cool elevator pitch," and then she turns on her normal social media,
Uh huh.
her normal channel that she watched at that time, and they were like, "Oh, Trump was bashing Black Americans,"
Mhm.
like to that elevator pitch.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And she was like, "Oh, like this is how the media
Uh-huh.
distorts things," and I try to think about that when I'm engaging with people,
Yeah.
because like some people that are on that left side, like they
Yeah.
literally can't understand that like they're seeing stuff on social media, and it's like no wonder that's how they think, because it's
Uh-huh.
like that's what they're ingesting. It's like, and the only reason I think is what I think is like that's what I'm ingesting. So it's like crazy to think
Yeah,
about.
everyone sees something different.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy, and social media controls the world because of that.
I mean,
It's
Yeah.
so much power. Think about it. you can literally control what you put out to each and every individual person.
Through a click on the algorithm.
That's it.
It's
Wow.
It's scary.
it's crazy because, like we were just talking about, you're the result of the people around you. But now today, you're almost the result of what you're seeing on your phone.
Yeah, because that's what's around you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very true. And I feel like just as a society, we need to come back to like being more open-minded. Like I'm so open-minded. I think that can change your life, change your aspect on life, change your view on it. I feel like it's just, I don't care what side you are. It's like, why are you that side? Why do you believe in it? And why is it like a benefit for you to take time out of your day to push this stuff upon us, or even like think that way? Like I could give a shit about what side you are. Are you a
Yeah.
good person? Like
Are you a net positive to society?
yeah,
That's it.
like
That's
if
all I
I don't
care
like
about.
you, it's not because you're a Democrat or a
Yeah.
Republican.
Or
like
if you're gay or anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
It's like-
care.
are you yeah, and if I don't like you, I'm just simply not going to surround myself with you.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, are you a net positive society? Like, if you're a good person and you try to, like, I don't even care if, like, a lot of our friends aren't on the same life path as us.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same. So, like, if you're just a good person, you're, like, nice to be around, you're kind to people, like, and you're just a good person,
Yeah.
I have no problem with you. I don't care about any other
Uh-huh.
quality of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I haven't got to your level yet of like success on social media, Smitty, but how's it been like surrounding yourself and that agency with like other people who are doing the same thing? How's that been?
Yeah. See, I mean, that's cool, I guess. But I mean, it helps. Like you have more people to connect with.
Uh-huh.
But then again, like the whole real life thing, because that's all social media.
Yeah, yeah.
The real life thing, it's like I know Andre. That's the only person I've hung out with
Okay.
that does what I do.
Yeah.
So like that is kind of tough because I feel like if I had more people I knew that
Mhm.
did it,
Yeah.
like it would push me harder to
Yeah.
do stuff. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, knowing people on there helps, but it's not the same as like being able to hang out with someone and actually talk about it. Like
Yeah, I feel that.
constantly.
Do you feel does Andre have like a group of people that roll with him? He does his own thing.
What's crazy is like connecting with him was super cool because we have such a similar story.
Uh-huh.
Like he basically dropped all his friends because
Okay.
he was doing everything different. And
Yeah.
it's just interesting, but it's cool. I want to connect with more people like that.
Yeah.
Get to know others that are on the same path
Uh-huh.
as far as that. But
See, I feel like that can be a really hard spot in life, especially for like
yeah,
younger men, like finding their circle and like say you had the same boys since you were very young,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
changing up. But I think that circle is so important, so critical. And like I was blessed. I feel like I have very good people around me, and it's only getting bigger.
yeah.
And like we're the only people in this area trying to grind on this, trying to do it. So it's good having you around.
Yeah. Like like me and Bryce were saying, we were so pumped up that you were coming because like we
Yeah.
haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, it's
And,
been a while.
I know.
Yeah, it's like it's super nice. Like, yeah, other than us three, I don't really. I might think of one other kid that he wants to, but he's got back into the degen life. But that's what college does.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's sad.
Isn't that crazy? Like people go
Oh,
to
yeah,
college,
yeah.
dude, and they just like degen. Like summertime.
Well, it's like
Yeah, I
I
wanna-
said, it's like I feel like most of those kids are all in or all out.
Yeah.
And it's also
Yeah.
weird because it's just laid on you that that's the path you have to take. So it just feels so normal.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I got to where I'm at and thinking about things, but I think about things so deeply. It annoys me. But it's like when I was at school, I couldn't mentally be okay because I knew I wasn't getting to where I wanted to be.
Mhm.
And finally, it just all led up to this giant depressed state where I was just like, I don't even know what I want to do anymore. I hate it here. Like, I'm going to leave. Everybody's going to judge me for leaving. And it's just like,
Yeah, I got a question. So like,
go ahead.
at what point did your mindset kind of change? Because like obviously you chose to go to college, right? Or
Mhm,
did you feel
mhm.
like you had to go to college?
Okay, so at first it was like I don't want to go to college.
Okay.
And that's what I felt inside me. I wasn't vocal about it. I didn't speak about it. I felt like I didn't need. I saw you doing what you were doing, and that started coming up on my feet, and I started seeing that like shit.
Yeah.
I might not need this. And then it was a point where I was like, I'm very all in. Like I talked about, all in or not. And so I was like, screw it. I'm gonna go to Coastal. I'm gonna love it. Like, I'm gonna make myself love it. I'm gonna dive in. So I did. I remember a specific phone call, like a week, 2 weeks in. Kyle called me. I pick up and how's it going? I'm like, I don't know that I love this, but I'm gonna give it a month. I'm gonna give it a month from here. And like I said that, and then it was just like I'm all in. So I'm doing everything that they do. I'm with them, and I think slowly like I was seeing those feeds of other people. I was talking to you, and slowly it started building up to like, wow, I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, this isn't who I am. And my diet was not good. I was going out and doing degenerate things on the weekend, so I'm sure that didn't help. But it was basically like, it basically went like this. So like, I'm here. I don't want to go to college. To like, I'm all in on college. And it was kind of like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. So like, self-destruct. Like, go out even more, do even worse things, spend even more money. And also throughout that time period, there was a point in college where my bank account hit negative $43. I haven't asked my mom for money since probably like freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I fucked up bad because of doing bad shit, stupid shit that I shouldn't have been doing. And then that's like when I hit low. And like I kind of rode that line out until I couldn't take it anymore. I called my mom. I was like, nope, I'm coming home. I hate it here. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you have to finish the semester.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very like, it wasn't my money on the line. It was theirs. So I was like, okay, I'll stick it out. But at that point, I had disassociated with college so much. I didn't show up to my classes. I didn't pass my finals. And then even further on that, I came home and I felt like I had to do it at that point. So like I was doing classes online at Hack. Same shit. I would sit on the computer, do my schoolwork for way too much time. And I was like, I'm not getting anywhere with this. And I would always talk to my mom about it. Like, we're very like vocal with each other. And she understands me, at least now. And I'm like, and she's like, you just have to stick it out. Like, it'll pay off. Like, you're not looking at the long run. And I just couldn't do it. And then that led me to where I'm at now.
Yeah,
That is one thing that's pretty cool though. Is like you and your mom like have very good conversations. Like,
oh, she's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
I love talking to her about that stuff. I think while I got more open-minded, she did too.
yeah.
Because I don't hold back when I talk to her. Like, some people I hold back. Not you guys, obviously, but like, I don't think normal. Like, that
No.
whole thing we talked about
Yeah.
being average, like, I don't think like a normal person. I know that.
Yeah.
So I like tell her all this stuff that I think. And like, I was talking to her about the podcast the other day. I was like, this is a 5-year investment, but I don't think you can fail. Like, if you invest for 5 years in a podcast and go all out, like, it's gonna succeed at some point.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna eventually land a good guess. It's eventually gonna it's just
Yeah.
eventually gonna happen. It's like what I said. It's like you're constantly putting yourself in that right position until bam, then luck finally strikes.
Yeah.
It just happens.
And it's like you hanging out with us, Smitty. There's one thing that you have to do to join this circuit. You gotta come to jiu-jitsu at least one time.
Oh, I'd come to jiu-jitsu.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Smitty
You
on the
gotta
mat.
come.
I think you'll love it. Like, you might not like it at first, but afterwards, like, it shows you everything we talked about. It shows you that discipline, motivation, like, you're gonna get your ass whooped. That's how it's gonna go. But it just shows you that the more time you show up, the better you're gonna get. Like, it's all very good. The people are awesome. I think you'll like it a lot.
Yeah, let me know. But what else was I gonna say? Back to like that whole college thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, all of us are doing it different right now? Do you think that's like a mindset you're like, that's just already built into you, or do you think that that's something that you can like develop? Like, you know what I mean?
See, I think deeply about this. I think something out there knows where I'm gonna be at in 10 years from now, and I feel like it's just your path. You're gonna have your ups and downs. I also feel like, whoa. I also feel like at a young age, so when COVID hit, I started watching all these podcasts, and they were all talking about like self-development, fitness, nutrition, and I feel like that really like that opened my mindset about all this stuff. But I feel like you're destined to do something out there, and I feel like this life I'm living now, not going to college, that was kind of like my destiny. As weird as it is to say.
Well, I remember like one very specific phone call where I was talking to you,
Mhm.
and I was all pumped up because I was doing well.
Yeah.
And I was like, so like, cause like your original plan was like you're gonna go down there, and you're gonna go to practice every day, and you're gonna get really good at doing practice, like MMA and jiu-jitsu. And then you wanted to start like drop shipping.
I started that, yeah.
Yeah, you bought the course, you did everything, and I was talking to you, and you were like, half in here, half in there, a little quarter here. I'm like, dude, you got to pick one.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, you know what, screw it. You don't have enough time to be a drop shipper, an MMA fighter, and a college kid.
Mhm.
You know, studying and partying. And I was like, dude, you got to like.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
College is a full-time job.
So I'm like, you got to pick one. Like, you have to do college and then something else.
Hmm.
And and you were just like, I could just hear like the tone of your voice, of you just like being down. And you're like, yeah, but I want to do this stuff and I want to do that. And like, I want to do this. And you're like, you could just hear like that you wanted more.
I
But
knew
it
it
was
down
still,
here. It was
yeah.
way down in there.
And then I was like, dude, and like you're wasting your time. Like you're not. That's just not
Mhm.
obtainable. You're not gonna be able to get good enough at any
Yeah.
of it to be relevant in anything.
Mhm.
And I just remember like literally a week later, maybe no, actually it was longer. It was like a month or two after.
Yeah, it might have
I
been. It
remember I
was
was
a
sitting
while.
at the courthouse when I was calling you.
Uh huh.
I'd pick up documents, and I was sitting there in my car, and like I was talking to you. Yeah, it literally was like 2 months later,
Uh huh.
and you're like, you know, I'm coming home. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I
Uh
was
huh.
like, really? You're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna come home. I was like, did you tell your mom? You're
Yeah.
like, no, no, not
It was
yet.
also hard for me. I think I was blessed. Like we just talked about, I was blessed to have good people around me already, and then I left all that, and then like I love the people down there. Like they were great people. They were cool. We just had a different path. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we just were not on the same page, and I couldn't surround myself with that. And then it led to like I said depression was a myth before I went to college, and then like it all hit me, and I was like, fuck, like I'm not in a good spot right now. I said I would never get here, and it just came down to like I did not think I was getting anywhere, and that really just ate me up day in and day out, and then it just led me to try to disassociate with that and this whole bad path. But that's why I wanted to start with like your reason why.
Mhm.
Like I feel like your reason why is so important and it drives me every single day.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know that I have a single one reason why. It's just like I want to inspire other people who are in the same path as me. Like I don't want it to be like, no, I'm not going to college, and somebody say like you can hear it in their voice, like, oh, well, here's another 9 to 5 worker. It's gonna work at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't want that to be the normal. I want to help kids, and like I really learned out of high school that, like, wow, the world is a scary, crazy place. Like you don't know what you're gonna do or where you're gonna go,
Yeah.
and I feel like people just need to know that everybody's in that position and they're not alone.
Mhm. I think well, I think your reason why changes a little bit as you go, cause like
Oh yeah.
my reason why before was not the same reason why I have now.
Mhm.
And like now I have a couple of reasons why. You know, it's like my reason why like before is like I just like wanna, you know, be better. Like I wanna like grow my life. I know
Yeah.
like this is a path that I'm gonna learn so much and grow.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, then I can actually make money. I was like, oh, and then I can actually like learn how to be financially free. And then now like starting like the pre-foreclosures
Mhm.
of like people like losing their house. Like you got to meet Nicole in
Mhm.
Denver. Like
That was awesome.
like that was like the most heart touching like thing
Oh yeah.
I've ever done in the business I'm in, and it turned from like just like getting deals and like closing deals like a salesperson to actually like, oh, like I can help and change people's lives. Like
Mhm.
I can set them up for the future. Like it went from them making no money, losing their house. They were in the darkest spot of their life, and then I was able to get in contact with those people, pull them out, put money
Mhm.
in their pocket,
Yeah.
and make money myself.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was freaking awesome.
Yeah. I think we had a great conversation today. Smitty,
Yeah.
thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep grinding. Bigger guest on. Smitty, I want to keep having you on.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
you're
time
gonna
to
be
time.
a very consistent person on the pod.
Yeah, that's
To be
awesome.
around.
But yeah,
I
hit that
think
like
it's
button,
helpful.
subscribe to the channel. Click the links below. Follow me on socials. I'll link Smitty's TikTok, Instagram, Snap, whatever down below too. But peace out, y'all.